Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another episode of Myth Busting Mondays. And get ready guys, because this episode has a mini theme to it. Funnily enough, even though it wasn't everybody, but a majority of everyone this week, for some reason decides to submit a myth about the roller coaster on Dark Carnival. So me and the guys thought, hey, why not have every single myth be themed around the roller coaster. And speaking of the roller coaster, the final myth especially is something that I think you guys are really going to like. And the final myth is going to be, can special infected ride the roller coaster? You know the old trick where we used to stick ourselves with adrenaline shots and we would ride on it ourselves? Well, can the special infected do that? That's what we're going to be testing at the very end of the episode, so make sure you stay and watch the entire way through. But yeah guys, I hope you end up enjoying this week's episode of Myth Busting Mondays. Myth: can the roller coaster on Dark Carnival cut a smoker's tongue? Alrighty guys, so the first myth is going to be submitted in by Tyler. Now this myth is unique. I like how that over the last few weeks we've been having a theme about trying to cut the smoker's tongue in different ways, and this is probably the most unique one yet. Now the biggest question you might be asking is, how are we going to do this? Because there's not exactly a surface for the smoker to stand and grab you at a way that the tongue would be lined up with the roller coaster. But do not fret, my friends, I have an idea where we are going to end up having a little platform that we spawn for the smoker and just have Tyler hang on the side. Now we're going to be calling the roller coaster shortly and just seeing if whether or not that direct collision with the tongue is enough to be able to break it and therefore free Tyler. So let's end up activating the roller coaster and see what happens. Alright guys, so here comes the roller coaster. Let's see if it can break the smoker's tongue. Oh, and it looks like, actually, okay, we do not have a result yet, actually. It looks like that the tongue was too high and the roller coaster went underneath. That was something I was actually not expecting. Okay, so now we gotta come up with a second strategy. So the wall was not in our favor there. There really never was a spot to begin with to do this, so we kind of just have to adapt stuff on the fly. So we decided to go on a lower part of the roller coaster where there's no walls in the way, and we're going to make our own surfaces at just the right height so that way the smoker's tongue will be level with us. Because when it comes to the roller coaster, if you look in third person, the roller coaster buggies are about thigh height with the character model, so we can only end up going really that high. Okay, so everything's situated, so let's try this again, and yeah, it looks like that the tongue does not break. Alrighty guys, so for myth number one about whether or not that the smoker's tongue can be broken by the roller coaster on Dark Carnival, this is going to end up being busted. It clearly went through and there was no mistaking that, so this myth is going to be 100% busted, and unfortunately it means you cannot use this method. Myth: can you ride the roller coaster on Dark Carnival by landing on it from above? Alright guys, this myth is submitted in by Glabursco, and we're pretty much just going to jump straight into it because this one's really self-explanatory. So we're going to be activating no clip and just falling on top of the roller coaster and seeing if we can keep up with it. So here we go, let's summon the roller coaster and see what happens. Okay, so if we just stand still, even if we fall right on top of the thing, we end up losing it because it just keeps going and we just stand still. So we have a different strategy where we're going to be riding on the roller coaster by walking on it. Okay, so here we are getting on it and walking in place now. This actually seems to be much more efficient and working. We're actually keeping up with a roller coaster. Although, be it we're technically riding on top of the roller coaster, but we are still very much riding it. Now, even though we can do this, if we end up having a very steep drop, or the thing just takes too sharp of a turn, or the game just decides to kick us out for some reason, we will not be able to stay on the roller coaster. However, though, for the briefest of moments, you are riding the roller coaster. So I would say it's safe to say that this myth is confirmed. It's really bizarre on how you would do this, and you wouldn't be able to do this in an actual game without cheating unless you wanted to do the adrenaline strategy. But if you don't mind cheating, this is another way you can ride the roller coaster on Dark Carnival. Myth: can throwable items explode if they are run over by the roller coaster on Dark Carnival? Okay guys, the next myth is going to be submitted in by Dan, aka Dr. Sneeze, aka Dr. Explosives, because Dan loves explosives. And we're just going to be taking all the throwable items that are in the game, anywhere from the propane tank all the way up to the fireworks, and just placing them on the tracks for the roller coaster, and just seeing if the roller coaster running them over would just simply explode them. Now by logic, this should work, but due to the video game logic being slightly different than real life logic, we will have to see. So it's a bit of a coin flip, but let's just see if whether or not this myth is confirmed or busted. Okay guys, we got a healthy mixture of all the different throwable items, touched and non-touched, just in case their physics are different. But it looks like regardless of whether or not we grab them or not, they do not end up exploding by the roller coaster specifically. But don't worry, we have Dan on standby to cause an epilepsy warning. So this myth is busted. The roller coaster will not explode any of the throwables by just simply running them over. But let's be honest, this is probably a good thing because we wouldn't want to be carrying a gasoline can and burst into flames. Myth: can you stop the roller coaster on Dark Carnival by blocking it with solid objects? Okay guys, so the next myth is going to be submitted in by Zoe. So as Dan normally does whenever we end up playing games, he's going to lag my PC and spawn everything known to mankind so we can see if whether or not that any of these textures will block the roller coaster when we activate it. So we're going to be activating the roller coaster here any second now, and we're going to be seeing if walls or cars or buildings or the Great Wall of China, for all I care, can end up stopping this monstrosity known as the roller coaster. Let's do this. So here comes the roller coaster. It's going up now, and yep, I had a hunch. Just like every single other vehicle in the entire game, it seems like it's basically going to just ignore everything and act like that there's nothing there. And it doesn't matter whether it's walls, it doesn't matter whether or not it's buildings or concrete slabs, the roller coaster just ignores all of it and decides to go through them all. So this roller coaster just does not give an F, which means that this myth is going to end up being busted. The roller coaster will just go through anything that it pleases, and it's only with some exceptions that any of the vehicles in this game can be stopped by other objects. Now guys, instead of just jumping straight to the final myth right away, I'm actually going to be having one more bonus 6 myth for you guys, because there was at least one more person that had a roller coaster myth, and I hate for them to be the only person that was left out, so I thought that I would tack them on here right before the final myth, and just include them in the episode. So I hope you guys enjoy this bonus 6 myth. Myth: can the roller coaster on Dark Carnival move objects out of the way, such as cars and dumpsters? Okay guys, so for the bonus myth, this is submitted in by Wilder Bump 7. Now Wilder Bump, even though your myth is very similar to Zoe's by nature, I didn't want to exclude you out of the episode just because of the fact that it was similar, and I also didn't want you to be the only one that was left out, so I thought I would tack you on here at the end, my friend. So we are going to be testing out if whether or not that the cars are able to stop the roller coaster, because for some reason with our console commands we do not have access to a dumpster command, but I hope you understand. Alrighty, so here comes the roller coaster now into the giant conglomerate of all of our cars, but it looks like that the roller coaster will just ignore it and go through it anyway, just like how it did with every other object in the game. So Wilder Bump my G, your myth is also busted, but thank you for submitting it anyway. Alright everybody, and now it's the moment you've all been waiting for! The final myth! And once again, the final myth is going to be, can Special Infected ride the roller coaster on Dark Carnival? Get ready guys, because this one's about to be insane. And I hope you guys end up enjoying what you see, but let's jump straight into the final myth of today's episode. Myth: can Special Infected ride the roller coaster on Dark Carnival? Alrighty guys, so it's been a long time since this has happened, but the final myth is actually going to be submitted in by me. I have not submitted a myth to this series in a very long time, and you guys were just coming up with so many great myths theming around the roller coaster that I just want to join on the fun, man. So I hope you guys understand why, but don't worry, this won't be like a regularly recurring thing or something. But yeah, let's just jump straight into the final myth and see if Special Infected can ride the roller coaster. Alrighty guys, so the roller coaster has started to arrive and the Special Infected have started to fall, but it looks like that they're not only falling from the sky, they are literally falling into their deaths because the roller coaster is running them over and blood and guts is flying everywhere. So not any of the Special Infected so far have managed to survive more than rather a few seconds. And this includes things such as the Tank and the Witch, which have a lot more health than you would think would have an easier time doing this. But no, a lot of them are either dying, getting stuck, or just simply not wanting to give in. We believe that there's a trade-off happening here because we're using idle Special Infected because we do not want them attacking us, but because they're sitting still, they're most likely clipping into the roller coaster. But what is this? This is something interesting. For a split second, that spitter was riding on the roller coaster, it looked like. And now there's another one doing it again, and it's not dying. It's still there. It's not dying. It's actually running on the roller coaster like how we did earlier. Yo, hold up. We might actually be onto something here. So, okay. So, it looks like the only one that has managed to do this so far is the spitter. So, we're going to stick with that and just keep spawning them. But they're not always working. Some of them are still definitely getting run over. So, I'm not really exactly sure what's going on here about why it's working only sometimes. Now, keep in mind, like I said, we were using idle Special Infected, but the menu we use, for some reason, the idle feature does not work on the spitter specifically. So that might be contributing to the reason about why only the spitter is the one that was working for a brief second. So here's a way that we can tell definitively. I'm going to have Dan spawn in spitters, and I'm just going to wait. I'm going to be hanging around the map and just seeing if the spitters will immediately die or we can get a couple of them to stay put. And from this angle, from what it looks like, for at least a solid few seconds, multiple different spitters are on top of the roller coaster and riding on it. That is a sight to behold. That is awesome, man. So I don't know about you guys, but I think that not only number one, that is awesome, but number two, this myth is absolutely confirmed. It might be only just the spitter and no other special effect that we're able to get this to work with. But one and only one is good enough for me. But yeah, everybody, that is going to be it here for today's episode of Myth Busting Mondays. And thank you to everybody that submitted a myth. I love the theme here that we have with all of us having a roller coaster myth. That was awesome. So if you guys have your own myth that you would like to be featured in next week's episode, please, by all means, put them in the comment section down below. And also in the custom Myth Busting Mondays tab within our Discord, which is going to be linked down below in the description. I really love to see what you guys come up with. But yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe to show your guys' support. If you'd like to financially support the channel, I would tremendously appreciate if you guys could go check out my Patreon. It is always linked down below in all my YouTube video descriptions. Please also use my supporter creator code BlackNinja797 in all caps in the Fortnite and Epic Games item shops, because Epic's my very first sponsor and they were sponsoring today's video, so shout out to Epic Games. And lastly, guys, I just also want to let you know that I've recently started a business. It is called Breakthrough Business. With Breakthrough, I'm going to be making multiple different psychology-themed courses on how you guys can improve things such as your character, your mental health, and also your relationships. All this additional content is going to be available at mastermind.com, and already within mastermind.com, I have my very first course out for you guys, which is called the Courageous Man Blueprint, How to Achieve Unbreakable Confidence for Young Men. So please check all that out in the description down below. But yeah, guys, I hope you end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most unique YouTuber you're ever going to see. Thank you for watching, guys. I love all of you, and peace out.
Hey, meme lords. Jesus here. And you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too. And give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!
There's
no such thing as diet death.
Let's go.
Please. At least do something.
Ah, just ignores it.
God damn it.
Alright, Dan, take your rage out.
Bullshit.
Come on, lag the game, you know you want to. Dude,
oh my god.
Oh, and there goes my game. It's gone.
Oh lord.
Did anybody notice how, like, right before the game crashed, that sounded like fucking Vietnam?
Yeah.
Like, all I was waiting for was the trees to start screaming.